Ethan Carter, a 32-year-old self-made millionaire CEO, sat alone in his glass-walled office, the city skyline glittering behind him. From the outside, his life looked perfect: power, money, success. But inside, he felt suffocated. He stared at the email glowing on his laptop screen, his jaw tightening as he read the words from his influential family: "We expect you to announce your engagement to Vanessa this weekend. It's time you stop disgracing the family with your bachelor lifestyle." The words felt like chains. Vanessa, the heiress of another powerful corporation, was beautiful, polished, and utterly wrong for him. Their union would mean a merger of empires, not hearts. Ethan slowly leaned back in his chair, eyes hollow. His fingers curled into fists, then he suddenly reached for the printed letter on his desk and crumpled it. He wasn't a puppet. He didn't spend years building his empire just to become a pawn in someone else's game, not even his own family's. The board respected him, the press idolized him, but no one truly knew him. They didn't know that despite his wealth, he went home to silence. No one saw the man behind the tailored suits who longed for a genuine connection, something real and unfiltered. As he looked out over the twinkling city, a question echoed in his heart: what's the price of freedom if it means losing your heart? He had everything money could buy, but not what he needed most: love, not arranged, a life, not managed. For once, Ethan didn't want to follow the path laid out for him. He wanted to choose. He wanted to feel. He didn't know yet how or when, but one thing was certain: this weekend, there would be no fake smiles and no forced engagement. Something in him had awakened. And with that quiet defiance burning in his chest, Ethan stood up, ready to rewrite the script of his life. The morning sun streamed through the vast windows of Ethan's opulent kitchen, filling it with a golden glow that felt strangely out of place in his sterile, designer home. Sophia, the new maid, moved carefully around the counters, nervously double-checking everything she touched. She wasn't used to such luxury. Every polished surface reflected her anxious face, but she forced herself to focus. She had to keep this job; it meant her little brother could stay in school. She smiled shyly and thanked the chef for showing her how to use the complex espresso machine. Her gratitude was genuine, humble, even a little embarrassed. Ethan watched this from the doorway, unseen for a moment. He was used to staff who obeyed out of fear or greed, who kept their heads down without a word. But Sophia was different. Her thank you wasn't transactional. It was real. Curious despite himself, he stepped forward and greeted her. Startled, she turned quickly, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear and apologizing for being in his way. But when he asked her a question, she didn't flatter or stammer. She told him honestly that she was nervous but determined to learn. That she needed this work to help her brother. Her voice shook a little, but she didn't hide the truth. Ethan found himself caught off guard. He was used to perfectly practiced manners, polite lies, and people wanting something from him. But here was someone who didn't care about who he was, only about doing her job well and helping her family. As she spoke, he felt something tighten in his chest. She was nothing like the cold, polished world he knew. Watching her smile gratefully at the chef again, Ethan realized this was the first time in years he'd seen something real in his own house. And for a brief moment, he felt less alone. The grand living room glowed with expensive art and floor-to-ceiling windows, but the air turned cold the moment Ethan's parents swept in unannounced. They didn't bother with greetings; their expressions were hard, determined. Vanessa was with them, dressed flawlessly, her practiced smile curving with entitlement. She looked at Ethan like she already owned him. His mother spoke first, her voice sharp and triumphant. "We thought it would be nice for Vanessa to see her future home." Ethan felt the walls closing in. His heart pounded, anger and panic fighting for space in his chest. He could see Vanessa's smirk as she stepped forward, hand outstretched. He swallowed hard. He didn't want this. He wouldn't be forced. He needed a way out, anything. His eyes darted to the side and landed on Sophia, standing frozen by the hallway entrance, clutching a cleaning cloth to her chest, eyes wide with confusion. Ethan didn't think. He acted. Voice shaking but firm, he snapped, "I'm taken." His parents fell silent. Vanessa's smile faltered, confusion flashing in her eyes. Ethan didn't give them a chance to speak. He strode over, grabbed Sophia's arm gently but urgently, and pulled her close. Sophia gasped, eyes wide. Before she could react, he pressed his lips to hers. The room went dead silent. His parents' jaws dropped. Vanessa's face went red with rage. But Ethan didn't see them. For one dizzying moment, he felt only her. Sophia's body stiffened in shock, but she didn't pull away. Her breath hitched, and when their eyes met after, there was something raw, unspoken, and real there. The kiss was supposed to be a lie, a desperate escape from control. But as they stood there, arms tangled, breathing uneven, the truth settled between them like a secret. It didn't feel like a lie at all. The night air was cool on the back patio, a hush settling after the storm of shouting and slammed doors inside. Ethan stood under the string lights, shoulders slumped, replaying the chaos in his head. His parents had left in outrage, Vanessa cursing him. But none of that hurt as much as the look on Sophia's face now, betrayed, humiliated. She held her cleaning apron like a shield. "I'm leaving," she said, voice trembling. "I won't be used like that again." She turned to go, but Ethan stepped in front of her, desperation raw in his voice. "Please, don't." Her eyes flashed with pain. "You made me your shield, your lie. I work for you, Ethan. I trusted you." She tried to push past, but he caught her wrist, gently but firmly. His voice cracked. "I didn't want them to own my life. I panicked. I'm sorry." She stared at him, tears brimming. "Do you know what it's like to be nothing? To be so poor you'd clean floors to keep your brother in school? To always be one mistake away from losing everything?" Her voice broke. "I can't afford games, Ethan. I can't afford you." Ethan's chest tightened. He felt stripped bare. No one had ever spoken to him like this, not in truth, not without fear. He opened his mouth, but no excuses came. Instead, he lowered his head. "I've never listened. Not really. I didn't see you. I didn't see anyone. I'm sorry." They stood there in silence, both shaking, both breathing hard. The distance between them felt like an entire world, one of wealth and poverty, of fear and longing. But in that silence, something shifted. They weren't CEO and Maid anymore. They were two people, flawed, afraid, human. Sophia wiped her tears and looked at him, really looked. And for the first time, Ethan felt truly seen. Sunlight streamed through the big windows of the community center classroom, casting warm light over rows of worn desks and colorful drawings on the walls. Laughter and chatter filled the air as kids circled around Ethan, who sat cross-legged on the floor in jeans and a faded t-shirt, reading them a story. He looked nothing like the commanding CEO he once was. His hair was tousled, his smile easy and unguarded. Across the room, Sophia stood by the door, watching him with tears welling in her eyes. She saw the way the children leaned into him, giggling at his funny voices. She saw her little brother among them, face bright with hope and joy, safe in school because Ethan had quietly paid for his tuition. Ethan finished the story and handed the book to a little girl before meeting Sophia's gaze. He swallowed, suddenly nervous, and stood up slowly. Their eyes locked, and time seemed to pause around them. He took a step toward her, voice low but clear. "I don't want to fake it anymore." He hesitated, searching her face for any sign of rejection. His voice cracked with emotion. "I'm in love with you." Sophia's breath hitched. She dropped her eyes, fighting the tears that spilled over. But when she looked back up, her smile trembled with relief and love. Without thinking, she closed the space between them and wrapped her arms around him. Ethan held her tight, pressing his face into her hair. Around them, the kids squealed and laughed at the sight of them hugging, a few clapping in delight. The classroom buzzed with warmth, the air full of hope. And in that simple, imperfect embrace, they both understood, sometimes love isn't about power or wealth, it's about choosing kindness, even when you're afraid. It's about seeing someone for who they are and letting yourself be seen in return. And for the first time in a long time, Ethan felt truly, beautifully free.